Hello everyone and welcome to the Ghost Layers Report. I'm with you as always, Ryan, right here from Tokyo, Japan. Before we get started, I would like to say Happy New Year to everyone. The time of this recording is just after 12 midnight, January 1st, so we start out with a simple little toast to you and to everyone else. I do love me wine. So, you start the new year out with to report something a little positive and also at the same time a little surprising. Now, apparently, 8 U.S. sailors are suing TEPCO. As you know, they're the ones operating the Fukushima nuclear power plant. The sailors charge that the company lied about the high level of radiation in the area where they were carrying out a humanitarian mission after the tsunami that, of course, as we all know, triggered the reactor crisis. Now, this lawsuit is not filed in Japan. It's filed in the U.S. District Court in San Diego sometime last week against, of course, TEPCO, which is now owned by the Japanese government. So, effectively, these sailors are suing the Japanese government by way of TEPCO. It's a very complicated type of thing, but there's lawyers who handle these things, right? So, the sailors, the plaintiffs, ironically enough, also include the infant daughter of 2 of the sailors who was born 7 months after the incident started. So after these gentlemen were exposed, apparently an infant child was born, and I assume one of these sailors was also a woman. So you have a child who was affected, wasn't even born by this, and is also a plaintiff in this. So this particularly gets a bit hairy and sensitive. Now, here's what the actual sailors claim. Okay, let's review that. We went over general at first, but let's get into a bit more details. Okay, so the sailors claim that the Japanese government reportedly said that there were no danger to the carrier crew, and all the while lying through their teeth about the nuclear meltdown. So rescuers would, rush to an unsafe area. So what they're basically saying there is that TEPCO, the Japanese government, didn't tell them the real dangers out of fear that the sailors and their commanders would refuse to send anybody in there out of own, concern for the health of human beings. All right? So there's a lot of cultural things going on with that. The most I could say about that as to why a lie would happen is basically, and I really hate to say this, but mistrust of outsiders. All right. Now, if this was the Japanese Self-Defense Force, you wouldn't see this type of lawsuit happening. All right. But because this was a U.S. military and these were foreign helpers, it complicates things a little bit. But we really shouldn't go down that road at this point in time. Now, the U.S. Navy, in the suit, said that they relied on information from the Japanese government, which, as we all know, much, much later on, they admitted that radiation had leaked into the atmosphere in a massive amount during that time. Now, this suit is actually 37 pages long. It's a pretty big lawsuit. Alright? It cites numerous reports about the Fukushima crisis and the responses and all the things that happened during that time. Said that after discovering the truth of how much radiation they were exposed to, the sailors undergone extensive medical testing and are going to be required to go through periodic examination in the future. And as we know, these are American citizens, and we know about the health care system in America, So they're probably going to be looking at some pretty hefty bills, even though they are members of the U.S. military. All right. Now, what's the exact amount that we're looking at for these soldiers are suing for? Yeah, it's pretty big. Okay. This suit, they're suing for over $100 million in damages. And how can you really put a price on human life? We could say that's an exuberant amount of money. But when you're talking about willfully poisoning people, all for the sake of saving face or getting help and not wanting to admit there's a problem before you get the help, yeah, $100 million sounds reasonable to me and actually kind of lenient in this suit. So, a little bit of good news to see that even American sailors are not going to put up with the garbage that TEPCO tries to put people through and the lies. Now in my mind, if this they actually win this, it'll set a major precedent for TEPCO trying to say that radiation levels were low, that it wasn't really a big danger at the time. Okay, it'll negate a lot of things said in TEPCO's official report on the days following the crisis. So this could be a huge suit if it actually wins. They're actually successful. So we should wish these gentlemen and these ladies luck in this, and hope that here in the new year they will defeat TEPCO and the lying scumbags and the Japanese government who've been hiding everything up.